of the diplomatic corps who are here representing the countries who came to our aid in the depths of our difficulties after Yolanda. I know that everyone here had a part to play in the recovery, but we cannot overstate the importance of the efforts of the different countries who came to the Philippines to assist, the NGOs, the international NGOs, the local NGOs that came and helped with the rebuilding and the rehabilitation and the recovery. I remember very well how we were at a complete loss in the days following Yolanda. Where do we get relief goods? How do we bring them? How do we transport them to the people that are in need? I remember when I first arrived in Tacloban, there were 3 vehicles in the whole of Leyte that were still functioning. And these were the people who came, the NGOs, the different countries, even the private corporations who came. And they helped us in every way that they could, in both the relief, both in the rescue, and even in the rehabilitation and the rebuilding of Tacloban. And for that, they would come and they would bring all that we needed. They would bring relief goods, they would bring water, they would bring water purifiers, they would bring fuel, they would bring transportation. And we could not have survived without that. And so it is impossible to overstate how important it is to us what you did for us after Yolanda and in the years subsequent to Yolanda, where you never left us. You stayed with us and stayed with us for years until you could see that we had recovered. And for that, we owe you a debt of gratitude that we will never be able to repay. Also here is, we will introduce
of you for being here with us today, especially to our President for taking the time off his very busy and hectic schedule to be with us in Tacloban today. Thank you. You honor us with your presence. To the world, the 8th of November 2013 shall forever be known as the day the strongest storm, Super Typhoon Yolanda, made landfall in the Philippines, and in the city of Tacloban was ground zero. We lost children, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, grandparents, neighbors and friends, and suffered billions of pesos in damage to our homes, possessions, businesses, means of livelihood, and infrastructure. And yet today, we must insist that our story is not one of tragedy. Our story is one filled with compassion, generosity, and kindness. We were witness to an overwhelming outpouring of aid and support from all over the world. Our story is a story of hope, survival, unwavering determination, and will to rebuild. A celebration of life and of the living, the fulfillment of the promise of a rainbow after the storm. Super Typhoon Yolanda undoubtedly pushed our limits, tested our determination, questioned our faith. But at the end of the day, our indomitable human spirit and unconquerable will to survive prevailed. The people of Tacloban stand before you, not as victims, but as survivors. And the champions in the battlefield of nature's wrath and devastation. In the 10 years, that fateful day, Tacloban has recovered. We have built back a better and stronger city and community. And we want to thank you all, our allies, our friends, who stood shoulder to shoulder with us in the darkest of our days. We would not be here today without your help. We would not have been able to pick up the pieces of our lives and rebuild our city from the wreckage, if not for that wholehearted support. We recognize the concerted efforts to sustain the gains despite the challenges we face in our road to recovery. TACLOBAN stands before you today as a testament of what unity in the face of adversity can accomplish. We will not forget. We will forever be grateful to all of you. We vow to honor the memories of the lives of your loved ones, lost and incredibly generosity bestowed upon us by imparting the invaluable lessons we have learned to others. My friends, today, I'm very happy to say that I see very many familiar faces, faces that were with us during that day and in the recovery stages. Thank you for being with us today. It's a great honor. Not only friends, not only officers and men in uniform from different countries, ambassadors, representatives from other nations, NGOs. It's really an honor. And I would say, Mr. President, it's an honor really for us Taclobanons, for you to be here with us today, as you were part of our recovery and you were part in working with us, and we were sweating it out there day and night, just to get back on our feet. And I thank you also, Speaker Martin, for being there and pushing all the support. And I would like to take this opportunity to make a special mention to Senator Francis Tolentino, who was then MMDA, who brought so much help to the city of Tacloban. We know it was out of your jurisdiction, and yet you went out of your way. Marami pong salamat, Senator. And Senator Villar, maraming salamat po na pinagpatuloy nyo yung recovery stage nung nag-DPWH Secretary po kayo. And one of the great learnings also from our dear Secretary of the Department of Environmental Natural Resources, I was glad to have met with you in Ateneo University, and you explained exactly what climate change was all about. And marami pong salamat, Secretary, sa lessons na ginawa niyo. Secretary Abusar also of the Sud, thank you very much. We've had some challenges also with our housing problems, and thank you for helping us live through that, as well as, of course, our great Secretary of the Department of Interior Local Government. Maraming salamat po in helping us recover and bringing up new policies in helping our local governance. Maraming pong salamat. And for the rest of our friends, thank you. Especially for those men in uniform, I would especially mention even the Bureau of Fire, who lost 5 firemen during the Yolanda typhoon. So maraming salamat at maupay nga aga, haato na tanan damo.
Thank you, Mayor Romualdez. At this point, may we call on House Speaker Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez to deliver.
Region spent many days and nights risking life and limb to deliver aid and to provide the support that enabled our recovery during those very dark and very seemingly hopeless days post the Yolanda tragedy. Mr. President, thank you so much indeed. You honor us with your presence, but we will always remember your service, your kindness, your compassion and generosity during those days after Yolanda. Of course, our very kind host, our Mayor, Alfred, of the City of Tacloban, who has done much too for the recovery. Our other honored guests here we have before us, We have our cabinet secretaries up here, the Secretary of Interior Local Government in Lidas, the Mayor. You did send a lot of assistance too. So to Secretary Beno, maraming salamat din. To our good friend, our special Assistant to the President, the Mayor. I know your prayers and all the assistance from Davao came in, courtesy of your intercessions. The Mayor has already made mention of Secretary Tony Loizaga, who was with the Philippine Manila Observatory, and you did call me, and I know you spent a number of days in my house as another one of those who were helping us among the first responders, and I know in your private capacity, Secretary Busa, I know you did send a lot of assistance as well to TACLOBAN. Needless to say, I'm a Senator, I'm a tall Valentino from Tagaytay, as the MMDA head, literally risked his life and almost lost his life, where he spent the initial days during which all the death and despair was amongst us, and almost passed away because of a very, very virulent bug that we fought in the recovery period. But your presence and the resources that you brought with you, again, were critical parts of our recovery. My good friend Senator Mark Villar and his family had also done much in terms of assistance and support post the Yolanda. I'd like to acknowledge, of course, our esteemed members of the diplomatic corps. You and all your countries and all your people made it possible for us to recover. When the United Nations, through Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and Amos came, they sounded the alarm, and you all, the international community, responded, and that is why we are all here today, fully recovered, as if it had not come. The outcome had not been as devastating as it was. And we thank you for all of these, for our success today. Of course, all our national government officials, our men and women in service and uniforms, we acknowledge your presence. Indeed, today is a day to commemorate the country coming together in unity. Today we gather to mark the 10th anniversary of the day that forever changed the landscape of our beloved city, Tacloban, and the surrounding region, the devastating impact of Typhoon Yolanda. A decade has passed, but the memories of that fateful day remain etched in our hearts and in our minds. 10 years ago, as a representative of Tacloban City, I witnessed firsthand the sorrow and the loss that overwhelmed our community. And yet, amidst the rubble and tears, I also saw the indomitable spirit of our people. I witnessed neighbors helping neighbors, strangers becoming family, and the nation rallying together to rise again. Kasama nating umiyak at nakiramay sa mga nawalan ng mahal sa buhay. At sa paunahing pagsangal natin ngayon, si Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Kasama natin siya sa pagbibigay ng agarang pagtulong sa mga nasalanta ng bagyo. Mula noon hanggang ngayon, kasama natin siya sa pagpangong at hindi lamang sa Tacloban, kundi maging sa ibang lugar na winasak ni Yolanda. Today, as we commemorate this day, let us also celebrate resilience, unity, and hope that have defined our recovery journey. The road has been challenging, but with each passing year, our collective strength and determination even more evident. A significant milestone in our journey to rebuild and uplift our community is the ceremonial distribution of land titles to our pabahay beneficiaries. This is not merely a piece of paper. It represents our commitment to providing a stable and secure future for our people. It symbolizes hope, permanence, and the dream of every Taclobano to have a place that they can genuinely call their own. Ito po ay handog sa atin ng Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Bawat titulong hawak ninyo ay simbolo ng ating pagkakaisa para masigurong may maayos, mapayapa at maunlad na komunidad ang mahal nating Tacloban. Now, as I continue to represent our district in the 19th Congress, I am continuously reminded of the lessons Typhoon Yolanda has taught us. It is my solemn pledge to serve relentlessly and do everything in my power for the welfare and the progress of our people, ensuring that we are better prepared and more resilient to any future challenge. Hindi tayo mapapagod sa pakikilos para sa kagalingan ng mga kababayan natin dito sa Tacloban. Hindi tayo titigil sa pagbangon hanggang hindi natin napitiyak na may magandang kinabukasan ang ating mga anak at ang susunod na henerasyon. Today, let us also pause to remember that those we lost, honor the heroes who emerged in the aftermath, and express gratitude for our countless blessings that we have received. Our story is one of triumph over adversity, and as we continue on this journey, let us carry the legacy of Yolanda as a testament to the underlying spirit of our people. May God continue to bless us all, guide us. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Mabuhay ang Tacloban, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, House Speaker.